guys, it's Gamer Ahmer here. So today I have another Holy Grail item added to my collection. This is a pretty sweet original Nintendo 64 sign that stores actually had on display back in the day when they would advertise the Nintendo 64 system and all of the games. So I just can't believe I added this one to the collection. So let's go ahead and check it out. So if you guys have been watching my channel for any time at all, you'll know that I am a huge Nintendo 64 fan. I just love the console. It was one of my very first home consoles that I had growing up. Now I did play earlier systems in my older cousin's house, but this one means so much to me. I even have my original Jungle Green console in my collection. I pretty much have a complete set of games, consoles, controllers, tons of variants, and I just love finding new merchandise that I just did not have in the collection. So one of my very first videos that I actually showed on this channel was another Nintendo 64 sign. Now I do have that one still in the collection. That one was mint. It was complete in the original shipping box from Nintendo. It had the instructions, it had all of the hookups, the plastic, everything else included. It was just in pristine shape, and it was just like this, except for the front part was red. So I'm just so excited to add this one to the collection, as I usually saw these ones when I first started out. I just really wanted that red one. Well, since I have the red one, I decided I would change things up a bit. So here we have this original store display from back in the day, around 1998, 1999 or so. This is for the Nintendo 64. So I actually used the money from some other items that I just did not have room for, and I was able to get this sign for practically nothing. So this is just so cool to have in any collection. This thing is so beautiful. Now it does have a little bit of minor damage here, and it's actually taped on the other side, but from a distance and even up close, you can barely notice it. Even when the sign's on, it's still barely noticeable. But this thing is expected to have some dings and scratches and scrapes on it, as this thing is so old. This was on display in several stores back in the day, and I'm just so excited to have it in my collection. So this right here, they would have had in tons of those Nintendo catalogs, where if you were a store owner or you had a store, you could just go ahead and order some of that merchandise, really get these displays going to go ahead and promote tons of Nintendo 64 items. They have banners, they have standees, they have the signs, the kiosks, the big statues, and everything else. So I have seen pretty much all of that in person at this point. So I pretty much own tons of that merchandise. I have other Nintendo 64 light up signs. So I have this one, the red one, even another one that's kind of more of a square. I have promo shirts, I have jackets, I have pretty much everything, including the kiosks. So this right here is just so awesome. I really wanted to get some pretty cool images of this. So of course, the front part right here, this is more of this plexiglass style. Of course, it's encased in this big metal enclosure. There's a tube light that just runs inside of it. I've seen people actually change that out and go ahead and use those LED light strips for it. And then on the back here, it actually says Nintendo 64, and it's also white. So this is what the back looks like. Of course, we have this cord. I have it plugged in and everything. So this little cord just comes right out the back. We have this little light switch right here. And then, of course, we have this right here. It says Nintendo 64. This is in pristine shape, the back of it is. And it's oddly enough that the red version of this actually has a white backing as well that says Nintendo 64. So it looks like everything's the same, except for the front little plexiglass. And it looks like that could just slide right out. So they probably just had these made, just changed out some of the different colors, and had a couple different signs. And then the cool thing is on the bottom part, which I'll go ahead and flip it back around. So on the bottom part of this sign, there's actually this Nintendo sticker, and it says, "For troubleshooting and technical assistance with this display, please call our display technical support services hotline at," it lists a number, "between 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. 7 days a week." So this is display item number N64 M65K. This is display type N64 36-inch backlight sign. So this, of course, is a part of the M series in those catalogs. This is 36 inches of just pure Nintendo 64 joy. So this right here, I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. Now, I said that last time, but I did find a really cool spot for that red Nintendo 64 sign. That's pretty much the same thing. So I'm not sure where this one will go in particular, but I will definitely have to find a spot for it, as this thing is just so beautiful. I'm just so excited to keep it in the condition that it is, as it already has a little bit of minor damage here. Just kind of goes across the bottom, so it's not really too bad. And you just put a little bit of tape on it and just try and keep it steady and try not to have any other problems with this. I assume that this was actually done when it was shipped to the last owner. He actually had 2 of these, so I guess he upgraded his Nintendo 64 sign, got a different one, and then this one was one that he was willing to part with. So this is just so cool. When you just hit the switch like that, it just powers right on. And this thing is just so beautiful. This bright white color, this beautiful imagery on here with all of these classic Nintendo 64 colors. This logo is just so beautiful. This looks so different than the red one that I have in my collection already. So I am just so happy to add this, and this one is just so beautiful. So make sure you guys check out that other video. I'll go ahead and drop the link in the description below, as that was one of my first pickups, something that I was just so in love with. I never thought that I would own 2 of these in my collection, and now, of course, along with the Nintendo 64 kiosk, even the Kid Space Nintendo 64 kiosk, just several other banners, standees, and other lights. I just never would have thought that I would have had this amazing Nintendo 64 collection. I'm just so in love with this. I knew the second that I saw it, I had to make something happen, and I would much rather have this over some of those toy displays and some other items that I actually traded and used the money to actually get this pretty awesome sign. So I really don't have very much invested in this, and this is just so beyond amazing. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this sign. Have you ever seen one of these light displays in any particular stores back in the day? Do you actually own one of these, whether it's this one or the red version of this light? So just go ahead and let me know. And of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my other videos, and stay tuned for more.